I've come to a decision today and I'm making it final. And this is the big announcement that I was holding off on making, but my life is now on a new road. Stay tuned. Hello, folks. Welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. Some of you have been with me through a lot. We've been on this channel since 2013, and I've shared some adventures that I've had in my life. And some of you know I worked in the medical field for quite a few years. Anyway, I began my service in the medical field from my very first job. I was 11 years old in the 6th grade. I was an ambulance dispatcher. That's right, I was an ambulance dispatcher. My second job was I delivered newspapers. I've held many jobs in my life. I've been in the military service, the National Guard, the regular Army, did a little stint in the Air Force Auxiliary. And yeah, I got exposed to Agent Orange while serving our country in Korea. That was, I'm facing the challenges of that exposure today. As some of you have been following me, you know that I have these disabilities and a growing a number of disabilities because of the chemical exposure. It's caused changes in my body. So with that said, working in the medical field, I for so many years. Then I left. Then I came back after a period of time where we became homeless. My wife, my son, my daughter, myself. We lived in an old leaky travel trailer between free campgrounds, the Walmart parking lot, church parking lots. And it was one day on Easter Sunday, I collapsed in a church parking lot of a heart attack and had to have open heart surgery. Well, that was a result that manifested from the exposure to the Agent Orange. Then as time went on, I ended up dying 3 times additionally 6 months after that because of the medications they gave me. And it was the medications that were killing me. And coming to find out, because of the chemical exposure, I've become hypersensitive, acutely sensitive to almost every medication there is, which led me to having to make a very, very hard decision. From the experience of being homeless, it instilled in me the importance of establishing myself to never have to put my wife and kids through that again. So I got some skills, got back into the medical field with, as of now, 17 years in the medical field through this time, but I've been working it off and on since 11. I'm 64 years old now, and it's time to say goodbye. It's time. I'm taking a graceful out on this because of my exposure and my hypersensitivities to medications. I now have to carry an EpiPen with me because I'm developing also more allergies to foods. I can't get vaccinated. And because our governor of our state mandated that all healthcare workers be vaccinated or get fired, some of us who have disabilities, we're covered under the Americans with Disabilities Act, but that can only cover for about 6 months. Well, I've been because I can't get vaccinated because the vaccine will kill me, my 3 doctors have said no, don't ever get another vaccination again, because the last vaccine I had was 4 or 5 years ago, and it literally had such an adverse reaction to me. That's partly why I have to have an EpiPen. So they said no, no vaccine. So the president echoed what our governor said, and the president said, no, healthcare workers in the unvaccinated, period, no exceptions. And that was upheld by the Supreme Court. So, considering my age and my condition, I had to come to the conclusion that, Jerry, it's time to retire. I've taken steps since being homeless on securing the family to the point where focusing on the state when I retire, I wanted the land paid off. I wanted to get some land. We succeeded, got that marked. We got on land, got the property for really cheap because I bought it from the county auction from the system they call over-the-counter sale. I have videos on that. Check those out. I went and secured a home. I only paid $10,000 for the home. Had it paid off within about 9 months because we got blessed with a what do they call those, infusion of a lot of cash. Something, a miracle happened in our life. We got a lot of cash and we paid off the house. So we own the house, put it together myself. I got videos showing and explaining how I did that, and developing Pine Meadows Hobby Farm from recycled, repurposed materials, and learning how to live frugally and creatively. So built the barn, built the chicken coop, and built all the infrastructure. And because of my YouTube channel, I got famous from Hollywood because I got invited to go do a reality TV show. We ended up doing 2 episodes and a special on Discovery Channel's Homestead Rescue series. With that, we've got a free metal roof for the house because the house needed a roof badly. So we got that marked off our list. We saved some money with that. And then having friendships and relationships with contractors, I asked them, hey, you got any windows you got to throw away? Bring them over to my place. So I was blessed with all these windows from a contractor friend of mine. And when the team from Discovery came and saw all those windows, they decided to build us the greenhouse. So I didn't have to pay for the greenhouse. It was built for us. It was the biggest greenhouse they had ever built up until that time. Also, having relationships with people and just being a kind person and generous, just with my time and my resources, just helping people out. I started doing favors for individuals on helping them clean up their estates because a spouse died, they had to move, and they had to clean up the estate. And instead of being burdened with all of this task by themselves, they asked me, Jerry, take what you need and help me clean it up. So I've done about 5 estate cleanups. 5, 6, 7, 8 estate cleanups. I have a list of those estate cleanups and showing what treasures I found from the estate cleanups on the on my treasure hunting series. I also, in one of the estate cleanups, was gifted this beautiful tractor with all of its attachments. So we got tractor wasn't even on my list. I just one day I was talking to God. It's just like, be nice to be able to have a tractor, and that was all it said. Within a month, I got a tractor. I have a big God. So my adventure continues, but in retirement. It took me 3 months to come to this decision of finally, I'm old enough. I have looked at my finances and seen where we would be living if I was totally retired, and we're going to be financially okay. As far as staying occupied and keeping busy, well, I have a farm to take care of, and I've lost a lot of weight in the past 2 years. Other doors of opportunity have opened up to me, more of hobbies, if you will. I just recently filmed 2 movies, just wrapped up another one that I haven't even talked to you guys about. There's another movie I just did. and we just wrapped up filming on my part of it last week, and we are looking for other gigs. And because of the weight loss, it got attention of some people. I got to go model some clothing. I never thought of myself as a model, so retiring only from an occupation, which is the medical field, but farming, that's never going to stop as long as I'm fit. And that was key for me to lose the weight, is to stay fit and not be such a burden. I have VA benefits, so I am able to be taken care of there. I have Social Security now, which I've been actually collecting since January 1st, because I kind of knew I was going to be retiring this year. And plus I have you guys, YouTube. The advertisements you see on my channel was where I'm getting an extra income. And by the way, I wanted to get the land paid off before I retired. I did not plan on retiring until full retirement age, which is not until February of 2025. As you can tell by the ruckus, we don't have to worry about eggs, which I call butt nuggets. We get fresh eggs all the time, and we're selling eggs like crazy. So the sales of the eggs alone, income paying for the feed to keep these guys fed. So I'm not worried about chickens or eggs. Oh boy, we have babies coming on the homestead. We can sell and make more profit to offset the feed costs, such as geese. Look at these baby geese. I've also raised some baby rabbits. I weaned them on Easter, so they're now ready to start selling off and offsetting the feed costs too. And there's a protein source also for us. So coming from homelessness to Homestead was a very vital part of my journey in allowing us to never have to be homeless again. I put certain things in order. I pay more a month on the land than is required, and that's why I'm getting it paid off faster. And going back to the YouTube revenue, right now I'm making enough monthly on YouTube. I get a check from Google. It pays the whole mortgage. Well, it's not a mortgage, it's just the payment to the county. It pays the whole property payment. It also pays the year's property taxes, and it also pays for the homeowner's insurance. And that's thanks to you guys who put up with the commercials on my show, because that's how I'm able to be a little bit more comfortable in retirement and not have to worry about where to come up with the house payment, because that's number one on our agenda. Is if anything else doesn't get paid, the land will be paid, because we put in solar panels, we got the windmill, we got a big propane tank, and we'll buy propane when it's low in price and just stockpile it and run that off. We're installing a wood stove. We still have to come up with the money for that. And then we'd be set, because I've got plenty of resources on my land. I've got timber, I've got everything in order to cut logs, split them, and even mill lumber. I'll be showing that in a future video, because I bought an Alaskan chainsaw mill. I did go down and get my hunting license and my fishing license. I have not fished in about 28 years was the last time I went fishing, and I'm really looking forward to going fishing. I can catch some panfish and stock my pond with them, and also just enjoy the adventure of fishing and eating some fish. That will help too. Next year, no, in 2 years, I will qualify for our state's pioneer license, so I can get the whole package as a pioneer in the state of Oregon for $12 for the whole year for all the tags and licenses. That's wonderful. And stay busy on the farm. Off camera, I unloaded 12 bales of alfalfa and stocked them up all by myself with my 2 guns up in the loft of the barn. Yeah, it was a long day, but I got her done. So yeah, plenty of activity. I even have the whole farm to maintain. I've got fencing to put in. I already have the fencing. I got fencing to repair in the backyard. I have got permission to go ahead and sell off all the rest of the stuff from that estate, and the lady only wants half of it and I get to keep half of it, so we've got that resource pegged to do something else with, and then I can sell off some of my other resources. Now, to reflect on my years of working in the medical field, I'm going to share my best days and I share my worst day ever. I have a lot of best days. There's too many to count. Just working with the awesome team at the hospital, and they become family. I just miss them so much. In these past 6 months, I have not been able to go see them. And I connect with them on Facebook, but that's about it. Once in a while, I cross paths with them. But I miss them terribly because they all became family. Because when you work next to somebody for 12 hours a day, 3 days a week, you develop relationships. You do. And some highlights, well, it depends on the individual, the person. It's neat and feels good to me to be able to go and give of yourself to your community, and that's just where my kindness comes from. It's just I don't mind, and also just going up to people and just developing relationships of things we have in common with different people. I've met all kinds of people in the hospital. Can't talk about it, but some things I can talk about. I've done CPR on countless numbers of people. A few we've lost, a lot of them we saved, and that brings me into the segue of my worst day ever. This is the second barn. The original barn I built before we even moved the house over from where it was stored at, and then set it up. So I built the chicken coop, and I built the first barn from all recycled, repurposed materials. It was free. It cost me nothing except for I ended up buying paint because I put it this way. I'd rather put lipstick on a pig than let it sit there and look shabby. So that's what I did. All my outbuildings is lipstick on a pig. They look terrible just in the bare, as you see here in these pictures. But once I got them painted, and paint everything the way they are today. It looks pleasing to the eye, and that's my nature. Is that I'm such an artistic person. And creative is I have to be able to sit on my back porch and enjoy what I'm looking at. And everything I built is quite functional. Now, going back to the barn, the original barn, we woke up about 4 o'clock in the morning on a Friday the 13th. Yep, it was a Friday the 13th. And that was the beginning of my worst day ever. The barn was in flames. Tried to keep there's nothing I can do with the barn. We live outside of the rural fire district, so the fire trucks won't even respond. Took the garden hose, and all I could do was just keep the fire's footprint to the barn and keep it from spreading to the trees, which luckily it was in the springtime is when it happened, so there was no chance of the fire spreading. But sadly, we lost a mama pig and her babies. It was really, really sad. But that wasn't the end of my day. My Friday the 13th was horrible. So my son, who is a wildland firefighter, came home that morning and come home down the driveway and saw the flames of the barn. Once he got here, I put him in control of just managing the fire. I had to go in and shower and get dressed because I had to go to work. I was due for my shift on the floor at the hospital. At the time I was working bedside care as a certified nurse's aide. And I'm not sure how much of the story I can tell, but I'm going to try to keep it as vague as possible. And this way, this will share with you guys just how horrific my day was. So I go to the hospital. I'm still smelling a smoke because I can't get all the smoke washed off me. And of course, we called ahead and let them know the barn's on fire, may not be able to make it into work. But I was such a dedicated employee, I decided, you know what, there's nothing I can do here. It's done. There's nothing I can do. So I had to go to work and got on my shift and went to help a patient up to get ready to go to a procedure, and that patient dropped dead in my arms. And that was the worst Friday the 13th ever. Could not resuscitate him. That was the worst day ever. The barn burns down, a patient dies in your arms. Horrible. So those were the best of times and the worst time of working in the medical field and working in my career at the hospital. So now I'm retired, or retiring, effective the end of this month. I think Saturday is the last day of the month. I let HR know, I let my bosses know, and I let my family know. So everybody's been told, and now you guys get told. This is official. I am no longer employed. It is bittersweet. It is. I love working. I enjoy working. I enjoy the camaraderie. That was the sweet part. The bitter part of it is, having to gracefully walk away and just retire. That's it. No more. At least I get to leave gracefully. That's the sweet part of it. And I get to continue having my adventures because I'm not only going to go hunting and fishing, I've got this massive, huge spinning Janny kite. I did a special on that. To explain what a spinning Janny is, I'm good friends with the actual owners, or the inventor of the spinning Janny. And if you guys have ever seen Maleficent, the Disney movie Maleficent, in the castle scene during battle, there's these great big, huge black spinning kites that are in the background. Well, Disney contacted my friends to use their kites in the movie, and I've got one of those black kites. It's massive, but that kite is massive. I've got a bigger kite than that. The bigger kite, I think, is bigger than my house. Seriously. So I'm excited to take that over to the coast and do a show on the giant kite. And stay busy on the farm. Yeah, keep exercising, because hauling hay and 50-pound bags of feed, getting stocked up on that, that's exercise. I don't need a gym membership to stay fit. I've got a farm. So as I close one door in a chapter of my life, I've got other doors opening. I'm not going to give up. I still have plenty to do. Yep. So that's my big announcement. I'm retiring in 4 days. Yeah. So I'm got my happy place right here, and I am gonna sit here and watch life go by. I'm too energetic for that. I do not do much sitting. If I sit here, I can only tolerate to sit maybe 10 minutes. And that's just to take a break and get up and go off and do something else, because my wife says I have ADHD, and she emphasizes the H part, really hyperactivity. Well, I'm your host, Jerry Hansen, from Pine Meadows Hobby Farm, starting on a new journey. Stay tuned to more videos. You can do that by subscribing and clicking that bell icon. That alerts you to new videos as I create them and upload them. I'm going to go more on off the beaten path adventures. There's that series on my show, so check those series out. So give us a thumbs up, click that share button. Sharing my videos on your social media platforms helps us out. Please be safe. Always be kind. We'll see you guys in the next film. Bye-bye now.